talking to you with just like 1 bar of cellular data and no Wi-Fi, so this may be really bad.
So we won't get to see your questions, so we're just going to wait a couple minutes real quick. We have a big storm coming in, like badly, so we think it's probably the storm. But, okay, you guys are hopping on. Good. Hello, hello.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
so that you guys are hopping on, share, and we are having a major storm in this Tampa. It looks like there's a black hole in the sky. And, I mean, we just landed about an hour ago, and it was like the hottest day on the planet and super bright. But let's see. I'm going to try to get on this to see. So just bear with us for a minute.
Yeah, we're just having unavoidable technical difficulties.
Let me see if I can hop on here. Probably not.
Were you trying to get on?
To Facebook.
It's not gonna work.
Just so I could read it, the messages. Well, this kind of sucks, guys, because we could talk about what we're going to talk about, and we can't read your questions. For some reason, my phone that we are streaming on is live, and if I touch it, we're going to die. Meaning you guys won't see us anymore.
We're not going to die. Everything's going to be okay.
So, all right, we're going to talk about our topic. And then whatever questions you have after, once we get Wi-Fi, I will go ahead and answer the messages. I know this sucks because we just did a major TSA training and a lot of people are following. We just did a major AFGE training with OWCP, DOL, MSHA, OSHA, vets. Like there was like, I think like about 9 groups that were there with AFGE. So we can't read your messages. I mean, unless I just hold the phone. Yeah, just as we were about to go live, thunder rolled, and now the lights are flickering. Great. Okay. So we're going to make do with what we can do. So we are just, like I just put it up there because we weren't sure if we were going to make it back in time with delays and everything, these stupid flights. So we just got back from Wisconsin.
It was a terrible flight. Awful.
He thought so, yes.
Turbulence is stupid.
So I know if you guys are on here, if you can please share it, please, because I have no way of sharing. I honestly don't know how my phone is having this connection right now. Chris's is not. Anyway, so we are going to talk about real quick OWCP timeframes. And yeah.
So the reason that that's a topic that I wanted to discuss is when you miss your deadlines, whatever the deadline is, it's nearly impossible to overcome. We were just training in Wisconsin, and I asked, the group, and I don't want to say who it was, but I asked the group, how long do you have to report an injury until, you just can't, what's the deadline? And I heard the same thing, 30 days, 2 weeks, 3 days. And, supervisors are out there telling you that it's too late, that you don't have time because time ran out. But the deal is you have 3 years to report an injury. 3 years, not 3 days and 30 days and 2 weeks. That's just, that's crap. You have 3 years. And the reason that's so important is because it's so hard to find a doctor. And it gives you an opportunity to, even years later, get help. And you have lifetime medical benefits. You have the ability to go back and get reimbursed for time and money and mileage. And then you get, like I said, lifetime medical. So you have an opportunity to get better without paying out of your own pocket. So it's a 3-year window, and it's likely that you've got people walking around work with you, and they think that it's too late. And they're probably overwhelmed, and they feel like they're all alone. And so let them know, they have 3 years, it's not too late. That's, I think, the most critical one, because so many people don't report their injuries because they think they ran out of time. And then the next time frame is 7 days. Once you report your CA1 injury, you have a right to have all of your medical bills paid with the form CA16. But I've got this new thing that I say, the rub some dirt on a crowd. If you're in the rub some dirt on a crowd, it's probably you're probably gonna lose the opportunity to get a CA16 that pays your medical bills. You have 7 days to report a CA1 injury and still get a CA16. If you wait 8 days, you can't have it. But that time frame, it gets distorted by supervisors. They say, well, too bad, it's been more than 7 days, I don't have to give you one. The rule states that as long as you report your injury within 7 days, they do have to give it to you. Even if they give it to you on the 10th or 12th or 14th or 30th day, they have to give you the form. The only criteria is that you report within 7 days. And so if you don't have your CA16 and the supervisor says, oh, well, too bad, it's been more than 7 days, well, that's incorrect. And you need to file a grievance and show them the law. The law states that they had 4 hours to give it to you from the reported injury, as long as you reported within 7 days. So get your CA16s and file grievances when you don't. And then the other deadline is for continuation of pay. You have 30 days to report a CA1 injury and get continuation of pay. Now, if you report within 7 days for your CA16, then you're well within your 30, right? And that way you can have your time paid for up to 45 calendar days if you need to be off of work. And what I find is that the people that have the worst time with an OWCP work injury are those that didn't get a CA16 and didn't elect continuation of pay. Now, I was, in the training that I was doing yesterday, there was a claims examiner in there, which was awesome. And he was incredible. And he said something that I hadn't thought of before. He said, you know, if you elect continuation of pay and then your claim's never accepted and they tell you you have to pay it back, the first thing you're going to do is just take your sick and annual leave. So always elect continuation of pay versus electing sick and annual leave, because in the end, they'll just take it anyways if your claim's not approved. So you're not out any, you know, it wouldn't be any worse than if you just elected it from day one. Oh. So I thought that was a really cool suggestion. I hadn't thought of it before, but everyone should elect continuation of pay because they'll just take your sick and annual leave later on for the time that you did use, up to 45 calendar days. So 3 years to report an injury, 7 days to get a CA16, and 30 days to get COP. And when you report within 7 days, you are eligible now for the CA16 and for continuation of pay. That's so important to you because now you're not making financial decisions on your health. You're just doing what it takes to get better. So those are 3 really critical time frames that you just can't miss, because when you do, just things go bad. The 3-year one, I mean, things never get good because you're not, you know, you didn't report your injury. You think that your time is out, and it's not. And then there's, you know, when you're doing appeals, and appeals are important, it's 30 days for oral hearings, but you all know I prefer reconsiderations. Nothing wrong, you can do oral hearings if you want, but time frames are kind of tough. And with a reconsideration, you have 12 months to appeal. And you can appeal every single denial, and almost infinitely you can keep appealing with a reconsideration. And so that's another one. If you wait 12 months and 1 day, you can't reconsider anymore. And that almost happened to somebody. We probably helped her out with 3 minutes to spare once. 3 minutes to spare from 12 months.
Yes.
So 3 years to be able to report your injury, 7 days to get a CA16, 30 days for COP, and you have 12 months from every denial to do reconsiderations. Those time frames are critical and they cannot be missed. If you miss them, it's too late. There's nothing anybody can do about it. So those are the things I wanted to talk to you about, because over and over and over I ask the same question: how much time do you have for this and how much time do you have for that? And in spite of the fact that we've been teaching this here for 8 years, there's still the vast majority of people that don't know that answer. And the vast majority of people, by the way, that haven't even seen us yet. We are in this room, and I think there were 50 some odd people there yesterday, and only a few people had ever seen us before online. So do us a favor and do your friends a favor and pass it on. We say share, and you know, you probably just block that out and you don't hear it anymore because everyone says share, share, share all the time. But for you and your coworkers, it's so important that you do share, that you let them know that we're doing this, that we're here to help. Because, I mean, look, with technical difficulties, we're still here. and we just landed today, and we're making every effort to help. So let your friends know that we're here helping. It's so important to them, because like I had another guy yesterday say, I wish I would have known you when I had a work injury. And we hear it every day. Every day someone says, I wish I wouldn't have known you when it was me. And you have a responsibility to not let that happen to someone else, and it probably happened to you before. And so you know how that felt. So tell your friends that there's help. So that's time frames. I wish that I could see the questions. I'm sure you guys have questions. I just can't see them. So next week we're going to be in Indianapolis, and we get there.
I don't know what time we get there.
Did we get there Wednesday?
Yeah.
So hopefully we get there early enough that we can do chats next week. We'll keep you posted, and maybe the internet will come back up in this house one day.
Yeah, we're really sorry. We know we tell you guys we're on every Wednesday, but this is our busy season from like June to like first week in November is our busy season.
Where we're just traveling all the time.
Hardly ever home, and it's always we gotta leave on a Wednesday. Don't ask why; it just happens that way.
Well, everything happens on Thursdays and Fridays. That's right. Yeah, it's not our schedule; it's theirs.
Yeah, so we just go with everybody else's schedule. But again, we're super sorry. And we came home, and he's like, "Are we going to do chats?" I said, "What do you want to do?" Yes. As soon as we went to go hit play, the sky looked like a hole, like a black hole that we were going into. It looks like a scene outside from The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so.
You know what we'll do, though? We'll be able to answer your questions. Go ahead and continue to post your questions in the comments, and we'll just have to read it, and we'll go in and answer the questions. Because I do like to help you, and,
Oh, wait. Some are popping up.
Okay. Well, if they are, ask some questions.
Okay. And then I messaged Emmy and Jennifer. They're going to try to help answer the questions if we don't get to see all of them.
Okay, great.
We have Federal Injury Centers of Virginia. Aurora Velasquez said, how and when do I request reimbursement for copays and mileage I've already paid? Okay,
so copays would fall under the form OWCP 915, and mileage is OWCP 957. And you have to remember to attach all your supporting documentation. They're not just going to pay you on your word, so attach documentation to those forms.
Alicia Mendez said, I got denied and asked for reconsideration. I'm still waiting. I need help with my case.
So send us a private message on Facebook and let us know where you're located and what your phone number is, and we'll have someone reach out to you and help you out.
Sandra Fulmore said, if you have an accepted case, Form 957, Form 915, print form. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, and everybody's just asking the questions, but that's all I can see for now.
Yeah, so I noticed that Kevin Andrews on here, so feel free and answer questions. I see Troy on here from Kansas City. We do have our doctor's offices on here. They're always, here watching, trying to learn what it is that is of interest to you and what concerns you. So say hi to the docs when they're on here.
Yeah, Dr. Pearson said, if you need help with your claim, give us a call. Our Kansas City location, Federal Injury Center for Kansas City. Tanya, hello.
Hey, Tanya. We made it back, and then our internet went away. So we're making
I guess this was happening, and the children's did not let us know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can hear that, but
maybe.
The whole. So
in Florida, the rainy season is 6 months of the year. It's fun, and then that means it's hurricane season too. But there's no hurricanes right now. It's like constantly raining and thunderstorming here.
I feel like this is half-assing our chats. Excuse my language, but it is, because we don't like to do this. When we looked at our time, we made sure that we could get back home on time to do chats. So, any other questions about time frames?
Or anything at all?
Anything?
Because I'm sure that I'm not going to just leave you here and watch us be frustrated with our internet. So if there's no more questions, we're going to end early and try to do this again next week and do a better job and have fewer technical difficulties.
Alicia said, I'm in Dallas. Okay, so Jennifer said she's going to give you a call tomorrow. Jennifer is also in the Dallas area, so she will give you a call. We have a couple locations out there, so Jennifer she'll make sure you get taken care of and get you to the right office and help. Let's see, who do we have here? Brian Griffin said, can a nurse case manager legally attend an after-surgery follow-up between claimant and surgeon?
Well, they can, but you have to allow them to do it. But they do have every right to speak to your doctor. It doesn't have to be during your visit, but I don't know that I would want to cause a trouble with nurse case managers. They're typically there to try to be of assistance and help you, so I would just try to be their friend. Down.
Alicia Mendez said, is there a scale payout?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean by that? Is there a scale payout? Go.
Okay, so Alicia, if you can let us know. Champagne's Corner said, hello, we're having problems in South Carolina getting our travel approved because the system website that tells you what doctors you can go to and where they are down doesn't give you any information. So we saw Greenville and the supervisor of the claim. Examiner was rude. He called my wife a liar, and the speaker on every word of that system is down. Who else can we talk to? So you can go on our website, federalinjurycenters.com, Mr. Champions, and look at the locations tab, and we have Greenville, South Carolina, and I'll tell you, Wendy will get back to you right away.
And they're just killing it over there,
Yeah.
Getting claims accepted left and right, so you'd be doing yourself a favor if you give them a call.
Alicia said, how much do I know my injury payment is worth?
Okay, so that could mean a few different things. Injury payment, it could be a schedule award, and I can't tell you how much your schedule award will be worth because there's too many variables in that. It could be reimbursement for mileage. I'd have to know how many miles you drove. Or it could be reimbursement for money you paid out of your pocket, and I'd have to know how much you paid. So I'm going to definitely need more information.
All right, what else we got? So far, that's it. Okay. What other questions you guys have? Normally, we're not this, like, I don't even know what the word
Dead
is.
looking?
Yeah, like I said, so those of you that are hopping on, if you didn't know, we just did 2 conventions, really great conventions. We were in St. Louis, Missouri, that we did TSA training with 200 plus TSA members. I think they know who we are now. When we went through the line, we kept getting hellos.
That was a lot of fun, too. That was our first time with TSA. I like that a lot.
And then we had a lot of different agencies with AFGE, and AFGE really cares about their members because they are always asking us to come train, and we got some amazing feedback, and we were humbled with what everybody had to say. And a shout out to Matthew that coordinated everything. We're very lucky. And what else? So we're home for the next couple days, and then we head out Wednesday to Indiana. And this is not a union training that we're going to. This is, we get coaching ourselves from our coaches. It's good to invest in yourself, to make yourself better. So we could train you guys, and also, you know, we could train our doctors and staff and stuff like that, you know, and get more marketing things going. But that's what we'll be doing. And then we're home for a week, and then we'll be heading to Dallas for 6 days to the National BOP Convention, the Bureau President Convention.
And that's going to be a blast.
Yeah, we always go.
Those prison guards, don't go there unless you want to have the time of your life. They're going to have so much fun.
Alicia was talking about, Alicia, it's called a schedule award.
Right.
That's what she was talking about.
And it's hard to know what the award can be because there's so many variables involved.
Yeah, we wouldn't know what your payment for your schedule award is going to be. That's all calculated, and it all depends. So that's not something Chris and I can tell you at all what it is. But if you do need help for the schedule award, you can message me after the live, and I'll get you over to Eric. If you are at the point
where it's time
that you need a schedule award, if you've already reached MMI. A lot of you have been messaging me saying, I need to get my schedule award. I heard you guys talking about it. You do not get a schedule award while you're still trying to wait for your acceptance.
So there's a lot of variables in schedule awards. Your pay rate, the number of dependents that you have, your impairment percentage based on a 6th edition impairment rating, just to name a few.
Yeah.
So, you know, without knowing all of those variables, it's impossible for me to know with any accuracy whatsoever what your award could be.
Let's see.
We got Emmy on here answering questions. Thank you, Emmy.
And Jennifer, too.
Jennifer, thank you.
Yep. Ron Speakman is on.
What's up, Ron?
If you guys haven't listened to Ron's podcast, you need to go on his podcast.
Fed Up with Ron Speakman.
Yes, make sure you guys check him out. Also, Mr. Kenny Hodge.
Yep.
And I know you guys keep asking us about our podcast.
I just need a few days home in a row to be able to finish that up.
See, this is what happens. We have all these things we have to get done, and then we can't because we're traveling.
Or we get home and we have no internet.
No internet. I mean, the internet in this subdivision is horrible. I mean...
Yeah, we actually have outages all the time.
Yeah. Let's see, who else is asking questions? Those of you that are on here, please share. Help a sister out, because I cannot share. It's not even allowing me to tap the share button.
You're going to have to carry the load for sharing tonight, folks.
Yeah. What other questions do you guys have about
time frames or anything?
There's a few more people that jumped on. I'll have Chris go over them again on the time frames. Please pay attention. And these are really, really important. And again, even on the plane today, this lady... she didn't realize that she had to file her appeal for her reconsideration, and she just didn't understand the letter, she said, and now 2 years later, her case is dead. And so she's very upset, and I feel really bad because there's really nothing you could do. Those of you that are going to any of our offices, anytime you get a letter, and we learned this yesterday even from the claims examiner that was there while Chris was teaching, you have to read all your letters in detail.
Or at least take it to your doctor and let them read it.
If you don't understand it, whatever comes in the mail from OWCP, just take it, scan it, either give it to our office or your office, whatever office you're going to. That's the only thing we can say, that so you don't miss your deadlines. This way they can see and tell you what you need to do.
So just to recap on what I started with, timeframes, the reason that was so important if you weren't here is, again, I asked the same question that I ask every time yesterday. How long do you have to report an injury? And I got 30 days, 2 weeks, 3 days. And it's all just lies that supervisors have told people. And then those just kind of spread like rumors do. But the truth is, you have 3 years to report an injury. 3 years to report an injury. Not 30 days, not 3 days for sure. It's 3 years. And that's important because there's people walking around limping. They think it's too late. They're probably depressed, anxious, because they think that they don't have an opportunity to get better. But they do, because it's 3 years to report an injury. And then you have lifetime medical benefits once your claim is approved. And then inside of that 3-year time is 2 more time frames, 7 days and 30 days. If you report your injury within 7 days, you're eligible for a CA-16. Now, your supervisors are going to tell you you're not, but that's untrue, okay? It's a lie. Because the law states if you file your CA-1 injury within 7 days, you are eligible for a CA-16, and the supervisor shall issue it within 4 hours of the claimed injury. That's what the law says. So you have every right to that CA-16 when you report it within 7 days. Now, if the supervisor hasn't given it to you within 7 days, it's not okay for them to say, oh, well, too bad, it's been more than 7 days, you can't have it. That's not true. You still can get it. You only needed to report within 7 days. That they didn't give it to you means they broke the law that said they had 4 hours to give it to you. So file a grievance. That's not okay. So do what it takes. Take a union rep with you too and get your CA-16. And as long as you file within 7 days, you also met the 30-day deadline, and that's for continuation of pay. When you file a CA-1 injury or CA-1 claim within 30 days, you're eligible for up to 45 calendar days of time off, and that is continuation of pay. Now, when you do everything on time, then you have someone else to pay your bills so you don't have to for 60 days, and you have someone else to pay your time off so you don't have to use your sick and annual leave. And a claims examiner that was in my class said, everybody should just choose COP, because even if in the end you don't get your claim accepted and they want their time back, they're just going to go get your sick and annual leave. So don't elect sick and annual on your CA-1 form, elect COP. Give yourself a fighting chance to get the claim approved. And if not, you're only going to be out the time you were going to be out anyways. Okay? So elect continuation of pay on your CA1 forms. That's on box 15, letter A of the CA1. So that's 3 years to report, 7 days to get a CA16, and 30 days to get COP. And when you want to file a reconsideration for appeal, you have 12 months to appeal. If you wait 12 months and 1 day, you no longer can reconsider as an appeal. So don't do that. And to do an oral hearing, it's like 30 days from the denial. So you got to be fast if you're going to do an oral hearing. But you can be a lot slower on a reconsideration. But again, I recommend doing everything now. The soonest possible time to do anything is now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one more time frame. Somebody mentioned schedule awards, and so I'll just tell you your time frame for schedule awards is stay alive. There is no cutoff for that. Just don't be dead.
Yeah, Aurora, you said, I'm retired. Do I still have 3 years from retirement?
As long as you okay, there is no specific law that I've ever read that says you cannot report a work injury after retirement. But I will tell you that I've never seen it approved even once.
Yeah. Miss Black Butterfly is on. I think that's the cutest little Facebook name.
I love that name.
She said, okay, that part I'm working on with the staff at the clinic and preparing a rebuttal. That letter states I have 30 days.
Well, 30 days to get the information in, but 12 months to file reconsideration.
All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. We're actually going to be really heavy talking to our staff and all the doctors as well. Does Federal Injury Centers handle cases regarding stress? Yes and no. So what we've learned is, yesterday we learned some stuff while we were training them, but because the claims examiner was there. The first thing he said to do, obviously, file your claim on ecomp. Go to ecomp.dol.gov. And it goes the same way. Did the stress happen today? Did it cause you anxiety today? Or did it happen in multiple shifts? And he did explain something to me about stress and harassment claims. Please don't file your claim just because you're upset with your supervisor or management. Try not to just file it because of that. It has to be that they've said something or they're really harassing you or really causing stress or anxiety. And his advice was, go to EAP. Go to EAP first.
That's employee assistance.
Yes.
If you're new, employee assistance, and they provide counseling services, among other things. And so it is a good place to start.
Yes.
And he said when you do that, he almost always approves the claims when you go to EAP.
Yeah, so what happens is after you've gone 2 to 3 visits, you bring those notes over to either a psychiatrist or if you're coming to our office, and they will take those notes from EAP and get your narrative written with the notes from your therapist, counselor, psychiatrist, whatever.
But in order to fully answer the question, at this time, we do not handle personally stress claims, things like that, because we don't have counselors, psychiatrists, psychologists on our staff. And that wouldn't be fair to you for us to pretend to be what we're not.
Yeah.
But we are more than happy to help you with your narrative reports needed to get those claims accepted so that you can go someplace and get that help.
Yeah,
and that's what we can do to help you.
Yeah, so if you go to EAP, the best thing, like the claims examiner said, go to EAP. They're going to write up your notes too. Once you have that and it's fully documented, go ahead and, bring them on over to our office.
Yeah.
Younger gang, I submitted my 915 and documentation within my 1 year of my case being approved, and they denied my request for payment. I called them multiple times and wrote them a letter still denying payment. They said it was past the 1 year of being treated. My case wasn't accepted yet when I was treating.
Yeah, I'd like to see that denial letter. If you'd like to email it to me, I'd love to read it and help you out with that. My email is chris@federalinjurycenters.com. I'd really, really like to look at that denial letter.
Mary said, when you say file a grievance and you stop working injured, just the surgery who will call for a grievance who do you call for a grievance? Your postmaster, supervisor, union rep, or the assigned union in your area? It's confusing.
Your union rep.
Gotta go to your union.
Go to your union rep. Now, some of you have union reps that don't file grievances for you, so you'll have to find out how to do it yourself. But it is typically, like, we're in this AFGE group, and I just asked for a show of hands, who here likes to file grievances, and they all had their hands raised.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome. APW is that way as well. They love filing grievances. I know NALC files grievances. So you'll have to just go to a union rep and ask for help.
Yeah. Dusty said, hopefully your EAP will answer the phone or return your call.
Yeah, I'm pulling for you on that one. I hope so too. I've never heard that they don't, but I've also never had the opportunity to call them.
Oh, here's something that we learned, and I told Chris we definitely have to talk about this. So a lot of you keep blaming the claims examiner for your claim getting denied. So we learned it's not the claims examiner from a senior claims examiner.
If I was him, that's what I'd say too, but that's what I've always said.
Yeah.
Most of the time, 99% of the time, a denied claim happened because of a bad medical report. Claims examiners are just doing a job, and if your doctor gives them a subpar medical report, it makes it easy to say no.
Yeah.
But they do like to get things approved because they're federal employees too, and if it happens to them, they don't want to get jacked around with. So keep that in mind, but I would say that almost all denials are the fault of the doctor.
So the process is they get the paperwork, they review the CA1 and CA2s very carefully, like the claims examiner was telling that to Chris yesterday. Yeah. Like, this is what they look for. And supervisors, the bad ones, or the ones that don't know, will mess you up a little bit if you don't pay attention to those forms. That's why when you're filling it out, make sure everything is in detail and that you're there filling it out correctly to the T, and also add the witness statement to it.
Yeah.
And then when they review it, there's certain things that they're looking for, and then it goes to an MD. It's the MD that has to say approved or not approved.
Right. It's really cool. And then another thing he said, which I really enjoyed, was that when the supervisor says that it wasn't in performance of duty, they almost always just ignore it.
Yes.
Because they know the supervisors don't know what they're talking about. Especially postal supervisors, by the way. I know you're all probably shocked, but the claims examiner said that he doesn't put a lot of stock in what postal supervisors say on the CA1.
Janice Downey said, just hurt my shoulder last Tuesday, got a doctor's appointment on the 25th, hope it's nothing horrible. If you're going to any of our clinics, obviously they're going to take very good care of you and get you situated, so hopefully you are. If not, we can't speak for outside doctors' offices that do OWCP.
I can tell you it won't be as good as ours, though.
Black Butterfly said, my second opinion notes stated that I can go back to work full duty for 8 hours. No lifting, medium heavy, or very heavy. Is that considered light duty?
Well, okay. There's no possible way I can fully answer that question, because a limited duty could be a restriction of, like, let's take like a postal employee who's got to lift 70 pounds. Well, technically, a restriction could be nothing more than 69 pounds, right? Like, that's a restriction off of the 70. Or they have to walk 8 to 10 miles a day, so technically a restriction could be no more than 7 miles of walking. And that is, by definition, a limited duty. So it really just depends on how it compares to your job on your CA-17. Outside of that, it'd be hard for me to answer.
Yeah. Dusty said, so what do I do to get the expansion for my back accepted? I've already been seen by a second opinion. My shoulder was accepted. I had 2 surgeries on it. However, they keep saying that my back is pre-existing when it is only degenerative disc disease.
Okay, so pre-existing conditions can be covered in OWCP if your job worsens that condition.
Yeah.
So that it's pre-existing doesn't really mean anything to me. I don't care about that, and you should care very little about it as well.
Yeah, the claims examiner even said that.
You're right. If the job contributes even 1% to it, it's covered. So the way you get a diagnosis expansion is go to your doctor and tell your doctor to write the diagnosis expansion report to add that diagnosis and prove that it's work-related, and then e-comp that.
So, younger gang, I know you text me this earlier, and I was really upset. He said, mine is the fault of the doctor, and he charged me $750 for the narrative. Then he writes, more likely than not, injury was caused by my job. See, a lot of these...
Our doctors are not allowed to use that terminology.
Yeah, and any of our offices, and it was funny because yesterday's training, they were shocked that none of our offices take money.
Oh, we wouldn't even dream of it.
$0. We will never charge, even if your claim doesn't get accepted for some random reason, we still won't charge you. You're not at fault for that. And they will continue to treat you until they get the next denial. So you're pretty much in good hands other than...
The next denial, what does that mean? We don't get next denials.
I'm just making a point.
Denials, what are those?
So there's a few places nationwide that charges people to do these narratives, or you go to the office and you have to pay. It's crazy because then they put you on a payment plan and make you pay for like 2-3 years, and we know about this with a lot of people. Our offices will not charge a dime for anything that you get done. Okay, let's see who else here. Candy's on. Julie Jackson. Paul Wedge said, my HRO asked me to call my doctor to change his limited restrictions return to work form.
Your HR person asked you to call your doctor and change your restrictions? Is that what that said?
Can my HRO ask me to call my doctor to change his limited restriction return to work form?
Okay, so they can ask you to do that, and you can refuse.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the CA-17 is a medical form. It's not like it's up for debate on what goes on a 17. Duty status reports are medical reports. Your HR officer can't just say, hey, I'd like your doctor to change the medical report. It is what it is until it's not that anymore. So as you improve, then you can change it. But that's a medical decision. That's not an HR decision.
Yeah.
HR needs to accept the form, find a limited duty assignment for you, and move on. It's not their job to have an opinion on a medical form. They're not doctors.
Correct. And again, I'm sorry, I'm going to share this to all the pages after the live when we decide to get Wi-Fi back again. See, it's still red. So I'm sorry, I know a lot of you are missing this. This is why we tell you to come here, just in case I don't get to share. Tanya E. Wood said, I never had to pay a dime at your Greenville, South Carolina location. Blessed to have found you guys. Aw, well, thank you.
And that's how it is at every office. We have our company policy is no cash from patients ever.
She said, I've been having a rough time.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Keep your head up. I know it's not easy.
We'll tell you what, Dr. Mills's office in Greenville, South Carolina, it's like they're getting two almost between 1 to 3 claims a week approved. Every week I get a new picture from Wendy a couple times a week saying that the case has been approved. So they're doing a great job there.
But the fact that it's not 10 a week just means that you're not telling enough friends.
Yes.
Remember, you're having a good time there, so to speak. Your coworkers probably would like to know that information too.
Paul, you said you have Eric Blowers involved with your case.
That's going to work out fine.
That's going to work out fine for you. Yeah.
Eric's the best.
Yeah. Okay, what else you got? Any more questions? We're not gonna put what we're gonna talk about until maybe like Monday for next week, because I need to look at our calendar to see what time we land, and I think it's in the evening, so we may not be able to. So I don't want to promise that we're going to be doing anything.
And flight attendants frown upon doing live streaming during the middle of a flight.
Tanya said, Wendy is awesome. I tell everyone.
That's awesome.
Oh, Tommy. Oh, no. Yeah, Tanya. You would, yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
Mr. Lyman, how are you doing? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. I mean, so far I'm trying not to touch the phone just to avoid getting disconnected, and it looks like we froze.
It's so crazy. We got all this new equipment in here and we can't even use it.
It's all because of Wi-Fi.
Okay, so we got this cool TV monitor up here where I'd normally be able to see your comments. Very disappointed I can't see those. We got this incredible Canon camera back here that we're not using because it requires this laptop right here to be on Wi-Fi so that you can see us off of there. And then we've got these cool lights all around here with an app on our phone to turn them on and off, on and off. And then with this controller, I can raise the curtains in the windows. They're these blackout curtains. So we've got this whole great setup, and it's all being stopped by internet.
Okay. Yes, we can help you in Dallas. You just need to, right there. there's the website you go to, federalinjurycenters.com, click locations, and all the locations are there. You know, because we don't do referrals. So you guys, we like you guys to go on and choose whatever location is closest to you.
But we do have a Dallas office.
Yeah. Paul said, one doctor 17 says 4 hours limited duty. The other doctor 17 says no work pending surgery. How does OWCP perceive that or addresses that?
You should only have one CA-17. The fact that you have two is going to be a problem for you. You need to have one. I would have your treating doctor do an updated CA-17 and be sure he indicates or she indicates on there that this is the official form, not the other one.
Sandra said, I got my case accepted after 2 years thanks to Dr. Cooper and his wonderful staff at Phoenix City, Alabama.
After 2 years. I'm sorry it took that long for you, but I'm glad we were able to help you out.
Yeah.
Remember, tell your friends so they don't have to be the next one to say, gosh, I wish I would have known 2 years ago.
You know, when we were doing the TSA training, you know, there was a lot of new folks coming in that were just new TSA members, and, you know, they were like, well, what do you guys do? Well, I'm not injured. And, you know, the guy told them, you just never know. As long as you know the information, you'll be okay. So. And
TSA only, this year through the end of June, only 3% of TSA employees have accepted claims. I'm telling you, that's the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen a 3% number before.
Yeah.
So far this year, TSA is just getting crushed by OWCP. So if you know anybody, pass along that we're doing this so we can help people out.
And a big thanks to John Reverend for getting us to St. Louis. And John used to be a TSA president, got promoted to a supervisor. However, he is the only supervisor that we know in all this time that we've been doing this that actually said, these people need to get trained. Completely supportive. He's there for his people, even though he is a supervisor, because he used to be a union president.
He's unusually great.
He is.
As a supervisor. We really appreciate that.
And he was a little brat because he didn't get to show up. We know you were doing something else.
Come on,
but,
man.
Thank you for doing that. You know, more and more people are inviting us, and next year we know we probably won't be living at home.
We're going to be living in hotels.
From like March to November, we probably won't live home. But, you know, as long as we make money to pay the bills, I think the children's will be happy.
Yeah, we travel so they have a place to live.
Yeah, that's what I say. All right, any other questions, guys?
Well, we're really sorry about our technical difficulties, but thankfully we're able to get this phone to do what it needs to do.
Yeah, there's a bunch of new people on tonight. We want to tell you welcome. We're sorry this looks like it's a half-ass setup or
we're normally way better organized.
Yeah, we really are, and it normally streams to all the social media platforms. I know the people on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok won't be able to see this. It's okay. Catch us next week again, and share it. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I will share this once we get Wi-Fi. It's a black hole outside right now. So we apologize.
And thank you, Amy and Jennifer, for coming on and bailing us out tonight.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, that's all the questions I can see on my end.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up early instead of keeping you on and frustrating you with our poor quality, but thank you for being here and thank you for your patience with us. I know we started late, we're ending early, but we'll try to get back on with you as soon as humanly possible with everything working.
Yeah, and again, unsure about next week, guys, because we will be traveling. I just don't know what time we are traveling, and I believe we are traveling the time it's supposed to happen for Wednesday night chats. So we'll let you guys know, and we'll go from there. But thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for still sticking around with the crappy show tonight. Next week or the following week, we'll do much better.
All right, everyone, have a good night.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.